Hi, welcome. My name is Hubert from Team Libra Lures, and today I have the pleasure of presenting to you another lure from the trout series by Libra Lures. This lure caused quite a stir by the water, especially last season. You asked us, you also inquired whether we plan to expand the range of this lure. And indeed, today's start of this episode will be the Goliath in a new size, 35 mm. Let's get started. As you probably know, our series already includes the Goliath in a 30 mm size and in a 45 mm size. And now we've introduced the series in a 35 mm size. It is the perfect middle ground between the smallest and largest size. Now you will always be able to match the size of the lure to the fishing spot where you plan to fish and to the fish you intend to catch. And above all, to the environment you might encounter by the water. This is great because the Goliath was designed with really tough fishing spots in mind. What do I mean? When you go to a trout river, you are often aware that there might have been an angler before you who had a good chance being the first at the spot to catch a fish from a specific place. The Goliath is the perfect lure for fishing in overfished areas where there is often considerable fishing pressure, and if we still want to have a good time by the water, it's worth reaching for the Goliath. It is the perfect lure precisely because of creating with the thought of fishing in spots where we know there is no shortage of anglers. Moreover, the film about the Goliath is already available on our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, there will be an annotation below in the description. But additionally, what is important in this material? In a moment, we will show you once again how this lure behaves in the water, and you will see the difference between these three sizes. The Goliath, like every lure from the trout series, is available in 20 effective tested colors. In addition to that, 4 scent versions: garlic, cheese, krill, and an unscented version. Here we also have a great application of a very stretchable and highly durable material resistant to mechanical damage caused either by our rigging or by a fish strike. Simply put, if you catch a fish with such a Goliath, it's not like one lure and it's immediately for the trash. Well, no. If we catch a fish with a Goliath, I have no problem, especially at trouters' fishing grounds where this bait works wonderfully. I can catch 5, 6, even 7, 8, 9 fish without the slightest problem, because this material is not only stretchy but also very durable. Oh, I almost forgot about another cool thing. Here I have a jar prepared specifically for this material. And look, in one jar for some time now, I've been keeping Goliaths in different colors: white, chartreuse. As you can see, especially with the white one, it hasn't been dyed anywhere. This material is not only durable, stretchy, and resistant to damage, but it also doesn't dye each other. And that's why often when going to the river or in my tackle box for Troutaria, you'll often find all the different, most effective and successful ones mixed together for a particular section of the river or pond. We mix the colors together, and I never worry that they will dye each other. And now let's move on to the main part of the video, where I will show how to rig the Goliath, what it generally looks like, compare sizes, and see how this lure works in the water. And look, here we have them laid out. 3 Goliaths from the top, a 35, here a 30, and at the very bottom a 45, which is important. And these lures, even though the difference between these two seems slightly negligible, remember that this material is also buoyant in the chins. And if we lay a 35 and a 30 Goliath in the other direction, indeed, we will also certainly see that this Goliath in a slightly larger size is also wider. And this makes such a lure when we put it on our setup. It will be more buoyant than the smaller size. This means that with such a Goliath, we will achieve equally natural action as with the 30 Goliath, even using heavier weights. There is more material here, it is more buoyant, it will swim better, and we can add thicker weights. And this is great, for example, when we need to cast a little further, such a lure will fly definitely a greater distance than seemingly a slightly smaller 30. And we always rig such a Goliath in a very similar way. I use barbless hooks as often as possible, and I pierce it from this side. Set combined with a tungsten head. And the lure is ready for fishing. You can also pierce it from the belly side, but we always attach the head from this side. We just make sure that it is well placed on the hook here. I usually fish in such a way that I don't bend it additionally. Of course, you can experiment in this way, but the Goliath usually performs best for me in this simple, basic rigging. And now let's move on to how it behaves in the water. Also remember that the 3-size versions allow for the use of different hook sizes. And if you need more information on which hooks to use to effectively fish with our lures, you can find everything on the website www.libralures.com. There you will find our comprehensive catalog, where each lure is thoroughly described along with the recommended weights and hook sizes to use, and additional detailed descriptions and specifications so that you can effectively fish with our lures. That's all for this material regarding the Goliath 35, a new release for the 2025 season. I hope you enjoyed it. From here, I invite you to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. They are always welcome. And additionally, I direct you to our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which I have the pleasure of managing, as well as our account on X. That's all for this material. See you in the next video. Bye.